Look at that. Beautiful. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Passionate Piscator with me, Steve, the Passionate Piscator. What an absolutely beautiful morning. It's hard to actually start fishing. Just having a little bit of a walk round to see what's going on. Not a lot seems to be going on, but that's even better for me. Oh man, I'm going to forget the stress of work today and enjoy the beauty of nature. And it's already happened. It's already happened. I've only been here like a moment. Anyway, Ham Green Lake. That's where I am, in Pill. I'm here today on sort of the top lake, I guess they call it. The top lake, trying to go for some tench or some bream or some decent roach. There's all sorts in here. What a morning to do it on. It's absolutely glorious. It's still a little bit chilly, hence the old top on, but the sun's going to be coming out. Bit of rain later maybe, might change things up a bit, but wow, it's great, absolutely great. Yeah, so tench and bream on the cards for today, but really it's the relaxation that I'm after. And man, just instantly getting here, as I've mentioned, it's done that already. I don't even know if I want to start fishing. Sounds mad really. Anyway, today I'm not fishing on the banks, but I might do later on. I might come up here later on. We've got here really early. I say we, it's me and my friend Glenn, and we've taken the very far down wall, which I'm pointing at, but you won't be able to see because the sun is so bright. I can barely see. Look at it. God, I should have bought my sand lotion. Anyway, I have set up a rod before talking to you, just to pick up hopefully any of those little early morning bubbles. I mean, the fish reopens at 7, so early morning is long past, but there still might be a few sort of late coming tench to the party which I can pick up on. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend a bit of time just waiting and watching, not baiting anywhere. Just going to look for any bubbles coming up and see what happens. And if nothing happens, I'll pop a bit of ground bait in, I'll put some sweet corn in, some maggots and what have you, and hopefully hook into one of this fantastic looking lake's denizens. Oh, listen to me, I'm chill already. I could just have a little bit of a sleep. Huh. No, fishing needs to be done, so let's get going. Stop talking to you and let's get going. 3 minutes is too long. Come on, Steve, pay attention, get down here and get fishing. Well, the walking around didn't actually come to anything. There was a lot of bubbles showing, and I kept dropping a worm on top of them, and they just wouldn't take it. Kept getting pestered by little small fish. So I literally just walked round to the swim I'm actually going to be fishing, which is a little bit crazy, and chucked the bait in to do a little bit to the camera for you guys. And within a moment, an instant of putting it into the water, I caught a fish. And I was doing a bit to the camera and the camera went wrong, and Glenn came around worried about me because my swim's a bit hairy, but there we are. A gorgeous, oh, have a stretch my friend, a gorgeous bream. Look at that. This is a male fish, and you can tell because of the little dots on top of his head. You can see them, spawning tubercles these are, and the males rub up against the females to get them in the mood, much like all of us males. But what an absolutely glorious bream. Mwah. Not quite the tench I was after, but a bream are still very welcome. I love a bream. Anyway, let's pop you back and I'll show you the swim I've decided crazily to fish in. Okay, so this right here is my swim. I could catch him around a little bit in it. Look at it. But no, actually I'm not fishing right by there. I'm fishing here. I'm fishing in between the boat and these lilies over here. It's really tight. It's really close. Anything I catch in here is going to bolt for those lilies immediately. So it's a bit of a hairy swim. I'm a little bit worried about it. Not because I doubt my angling skill, which isn't huge, as we've all seen. I've filmed, you know. Well, but again, I've just caught a bream. Come on, Steve, be kinder to yourself. You're not a bad angler. But anything I catch in here is going to be hook and hold. It's going to be trying to pull it out of those lilies as soon as possible. However, it's those lilies which are drawing the fish in. They're going to be mooching in amongst all of them, finding snails and food that are living in amongst them. And that's why I'm here. That's exactly why I'm in this spot. I was Glenn is in the swim next to me. He's got a nice big open swim. There's a few lilies in there as well. There's a lot of fish moving around in there, lots of bubbles. But the bubbles weren't working for me this morning, so this is what I'm going to be sitting with over here. Now, if I catch a load of bream today, I'm going to be delighted. If that's the only bream I catch today, I'm going to be delighted. If I catch a tench, I mean, I'm going to be really delighted. But how about that for a view? Look at that. That is going to keep me busy all day long, just dreaming away. That beautiful Ham Green Lake view. Anyway, what am I doing? I'm float fishing. I've got myself a barbel rod because it gives me that extra bit of power to better, hopefully steer those fish in the direction I want them to go into. I've got a 6 pound line on, which again probably is a bit light for fishing in these lilies, but you know, it's all the toss up between having a really thick line on so that you can cope with the thrashing around in the lilies, and having a thin enough line so that the fish don't notice it, so that you actually catch the fish. So I think that's probably about right. I have got a 5 pound hook length on, so that also helps with that situation. I've got maggots, which I've been throwing in and but seeing lots of little tiny fish, roach and rudd. So if it does die down a bit later, I've got some roach and rudd to catch. But my main attack is going to be worm and sweet corn, and I do have some soft hooker pellets. They're my 3 baits I'm going to be using. I'm not going to be using maggot on the hook probably, again, unless I really don't catch anything later and I want to catch a few rudd and roach. But sweet corn, worms, pellets, I think that'll work. That bream actually came on a worm and a sweet corn, like a cocktail. Tench love cocktail baits, as do bream for that matter. So if you put on a pellet and a bit of worm, or a sweet corn and a bit of worm, or just mix up a little bit, they seem to want to take it a bit more readily. Anyway, chatting to you is no good. I wasn't expected to catch that bream so quickly. But I'm never going to catch another one unless I put my bait back out there. On the float, bit of float fishing. I can't really use a feeder. Well, I could use a feeder in this situation, but I don't need to. It's literally right here I'm fishing. Literally right there. Well, not there. It's actually there that I'm fishing. So I don't need to put a big weight on the cast out because I'm not casting anywhere. I'm just flicking the float out and off we go. Anyway, let's see if we can catch another beautiful bream or a tantalising tench. The only problem with fishing with sweet corn is it's some for the fish, some for me. Love a bit of sweet corn. The same with luncheon meat. Can't take me out with luncheon meat fishing. I eat most of the bait. Oh, 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 oh. Imagine if it's a tench. The tension is unbearable. Come on. It would be a bream if I could catch one. Fish puns, always the best. No, nothing. Look at that. Would you believe it? Into level 1. To be honest, it's about time. Can't see what it is yet. As I can, it's a little bream. Before I put a pellet on, knowing that I'd probably catch a bream. It's only a little one. Still, into the net you go. Calm down, calm down. Oh dear, I know. Tell me all about it. You weren't expecting it, were you? Let's unhook you. There we go. Put the hook there so I can find it. Oh, it's just dropped. Pop the net here. There we are. Lovely little skimmer bream. Beautiful. Again, another little male, really rough bumps to the touch. Fantastic. A few more of them, please. Oh, yes, yes, I know. We'll pop you back. You're going, you're going, you're going. All right, all right. You wouldn't think such a small bream could make such a commotion. Yeah, slime. You see a few bubbles coming up, and all of a sudden one of the fish down there spooks, and then the whole swim just erupts with bubbles where the fish are shooting off and disturbing the bottom. So there's plenty of fish down there. I'm not quite sure why they're being a bit so timid. I think from where I was fishing earlier on, you know, stalking the tench, it was quite a bit deeper, whereas here in the margins it's fairly shallow by comparison, and I think they're just a little bit spooky, and because of that perhaps wary of the bait, and certainly wary of me chatting to you. Having said that, there's still plenty of bubbles moving around. Every chance some of them might be a tench, but I think they're bream. Not that I mind, I really love a bream. Not a lot of anglers do, but I certainly do. Especially when they're in this shallow water, because they really do give a bit of a fight. Bream are renowned for sort of having a bit of a scrap and then laying flat on the surface and being able to skim them in, which is why the smaller ones anglers called skimmers. You can skim them across the top of the lake. They just give up the ghost straight away. They're like, oh god, I've been caught. Oh well, I'll just make this as easy as possible. Bigger bream are a different kettle of fish, and certainly in shallower water, as I say, they can't dive down so much. They have to go sideways, and that way you get a bit more fight from them. Also helps if you use lighter line and lighter rods, which I'm not really using today. And certainly river bream, where they're swimming in the water and the flow's coming towards them, if they turn and they give you that flat side to the water, can really give you a good thud on the end of the rod. But I really enjoy a bream, so I'll happily catch a few of them if the tench aren't playing ball. It was quite cold this morning, and it's warming up quite well, but sometimes that temperature change can really knock fishing on the head. Doesn't seem to be the case. It's making things a bit slower than I'm normally used to here. It doesn't seem to be the case today. There are fish moving around, there are fish feeding. They are breeding, of course. We've seen the bream with the spawning tubercles on their heads, so you know that's going to put them off a little bit. They've got other things on their minds, and rightfully so. However, I've had a couple of bream. Glenn in the swim next to me's had some roach, rudd and perch. He's been catching steadily away on the maggots. So we'll see. Must admit, with those bubbles there, I was really hoping during that little bit of waffle I'd catch another fish, because it looked like I was going to. But never mind, it's not how it goes sometimes. I'm not the likes of Matt Hayes or John Wilson or anyone like that. I can't catch fish to order. Not that good. I do need to think. I need to rethink. There's not very many anglers on the lake, and to be fair, I haven't seen anybody else catching, apart from Glenn, obviously catching his roach and rudd and perch, and actually he's had an eel now as well. He's on like a proper species hunt over there. I'd like a few more bream, I think. I think tench have disappeared from my mind now, so I think a few more bream. So I was considering changing swims maybe, so I can have a bit of a casting distance. But I do like this little swim in the corner. It's generally quite sought after. Every time I'm here, there's always someone sat in it. So that's kind of why I wanted to be in here today, because I thought, well, it must be good if everyone else is fishing it. And it is very good. I've missed quite a few bites, so I've had, it's not just the 2 fish I've had. I've missed quite a few more. I lost 1 fish in the lilies, which is probably another little bream, but we won't talk about that. But yeah, it's not all about catching fish sometimes. Sometimes it's about your own well-being, your own mental health, enjoying nature and wildlife around you, and just relaxing. And this is a very relaxing corner to be in. It's quite out the way, surrounded by these beautiful lily pads, which I still just can't stop staring at, especially as the fish move through them. They knock and jiggle a little bit, very tantalizingly. But yeah, I think I'm going to stick with this swim. Anyway, now I've come back from my little walk, I had a look round. I've put in some more bait, got some sweet corn in there, some ground bait in there, a nice sweet ground bait, hopefully get a few fish in. Really, if I'm going for the bream here, I do prefer to use like a halibut pellet or a fish meal pellet base, because the tench really love that here. Not the tench, the bream really love that here. The sweet ground bait I've got today, the tench do tend to prefer, which was the idea. But now my mindset's changing to bream. I kind of wish I'd bought that halibut mix. But never mind, that's how it goes. I've got a few pellets, so I could use them. But I'm sticking with the sweet corn. It's still a little bit, I haven't quite given up on the tench, shall we say. But I think I do want a few more bream. Those bream are really, really nice. Anyway, sit back and relax into the afternoon. There we go. Well, I've been umming and ahhing for a little while now about whether I should move. We did a half a day down the end there. It was fine. We got a few bream. I had a few nice rudd and roach. Sit still, funny. Sit still. Sit still. And yet again, I've literally just set up, just cast a rod out. Hadn't even set you up. And I'm into a fish immediately. I cast out and it must have knocked it on its head. Probably got concussion. But what we have here is a fish that's dancing around in the net. So, did you come here often? Oh, you stopped. Fantastic. Oh, maybe not. Well, it's important to keep the net below the fish, particularly if it's a big old slimy tench. How about that? The fish I was after all this time, turns out, was in a completely different swim. What an amazing fish. I do love the tench. Look at that. Olive skin, nice red eye, big paintbrush tail. Really powerful. Not the biggest tench in here. It's a fair sized tench, but the target fish, what I came for today, fantastic. Mwah. Right, let's pop you back in Ham Green Lake. Well, there you go, piscator pals. It just goes to show sometimes it is worth staying in the same spot and sticking it out and knowing that the fish will turn up at some point. And sometimes it's worth just going where the fish are. There again, that might be my only tench from here, but it's the target species. I mean, I was very happy with the bream, do not get me wrong. I really love my bream, but I really was after a tench. It's been a long time, been a hot minute since I caught a tench, and I'm delighted with that, absolutely delighted. It was in the water, the bait hit the water, it was in there for less than a minute, and bam, straight into a fish. I haven't even set my other rod up. I've bought 2 rods. I put all the feeder gear on the end and I cast it out, and I thought, well, I'll just go and plumb the depth from that nice float setup I had. Didn't even get a chance. It's gone. Amazing. Anyway, get out there and see if I can get another one, I guess. Maybe some bream. Who knows? But then the rain started. this is my fault. This is my fault for moving swims. If we were sat over there, we'd have a lovely bit of tree cover. Out here, you just got to embrace the elements. And I got a taxi here today, so I could have bought a shelter. I wouldn't have had to have carried it on a train. So why didn't I do that? Madness. Oh well. If I hadn't have moved, I wouldn't have caught the tench, would I? Or would I? Don't think about things like that. The age-old questions with angling. But this is the price you have to pay. The gods of fishing. They give, and then they let the rain fall on you. Anyway, I've got both rods out now. I did bring 2 rods with me. I've still kept the float rod. It's in the margins. There's a little patch of lilies. I've baited up exactly the same as I did over there, just in case any tench or bream or anything moves in. And right across the far side, I'm using pellets with the ground bait and a feeder. Just regularly casting, well, as regular as I can bother to do in this rain. It always makes you more wet doing things like that. And we'll see what we can get from here. And the rain stopped and the bream came out to play. Oh, if I can get them. Slippery devil. Oh, there we are. Look at that. Another gorgeous ham green bream. Ham green bream. It rhymes. Well, sort of. It's a half rhyme. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic. Bottom feeding now. Oh, a lovely pellet. Mwah. Happy as Larry, whoever Larry is. That's the end of the day. It's still raining. Well, it's been sort of showering. It's been on and off and on and off all afternoon. But the sun is disappearing. It's getting darker now. It's also getting colder. My hands are actually pretty chilly now. And I've just packed up just before this next bout of rain has set in. What a fantastic day here at Ham Green Lake. Caught some nice bream, really nice bream. I've caught some rudd and roach, and of course what I came for, a tench. Fantastic tench. It's been a while, but not anymore. Today I'm back to 0 on the tench countdown since I last caught one. Anyway, yes, the journey home, it has to happen. The taxi needs to be called, but I know when I get home, despite this really, really wet weather, I'm going to be sitting there and thinking, what, I can't wait to get back. Oh man, I cannot wait to get back. I just want to, like Dorothy, click my heels together and say, there's no place like Ham. There's no place like Ham. There's no place like Ham. Again, another terrible dad pun. It's been full of them today. Poor Glenn is going to be glad to get rid of me. He's done very well. He's got lots of fish, roach, rudd, perch. He's caught some eels. He's the eel king after all. He always catches eels. And he's caught some decent bream as well. Anyway, it's really starting to come down now, so I'm off. Like this video if you've liked it. Subscribe to the Passionate Piscator YouTube channel, and I will see you next time on the bank. There's no place like Ham. There's no place like Ham. There's no place like Ham.